You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute. Okay, good morning. Welcome to a new episode of the Sideline Junkies. This is your man, the Midnight Rider. Joining me today on this special show, since I'm doing the intro, I guess, is the big guy, KG. Also, we got the man that pays the bills, the boss, BJ.
Good morning.
All I say is, what's up, fellas? Good morning.
Well, good morning. I got a special announcement to make. We talk about being acknowledged and, things like that. So if you haven't seen, we had to do a replay of last week's WrestleManiac show. So I just wanted to let you know that she has come home. I am now your new champion. Please acknowledge me. Thank you very much. It was a hard, long battle, but I am your new champion.
Pause.
Just come home. Things are back to the correct way. The pecking order is back. So acknowledge me.
What kind of battle was it?
Long and hard.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you didn't say hard and long. Just wanted to make sure it was in the right order.
How y'all fellas feeling this morning?
I'm good, man. I'm real good. What's the plates on the belt?
Well, of course you have the middle plate, Sideline Junkies, 24/7 at the top with the. Oh, let me get this light out the way here, because that's making it a little hard. But you got the logo in the middle, play of the game, and then also at the bottom you have the date that we started podcast, which is February 10th, 2018. That's when we moved over to Anchor. You have the WrestleManiacs logo on this one with the zone, because if it wasn't for ESPN Zone, who knows where we would have been. And then on this plate, you have the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network logo on it, on each plate. So yeah. When you're champion, you get to hold on to this, and I'm just happy, I called it. I called my shot, took it, and now here we are. So, how y'all feeling, man? I mean, damn, I'm just so giddy, and I just feel like I'm just talking about myself, and I'm just so happy. I just want to make sure you're happy too.
You're talking about yourself a lot. You went solo screen for a second.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm the world champion. Gotta let things be known, and gotta let people know, hey, I'm the champion, and
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the show. This is what we're talking about. we don't have nothing to talk about. We're talking about his reign as champion, how he attained the belt. This is it right here. Enjoy it.
1, 2, 3. That's all it was. I got it. But let's jump off in this thing. Preseason has come up upon us, and the Washington faithful have started their yearly preseason tradition. I'm not happy about that. We'll address that later. But start with the boss, BJ. Your Bills made some moves in the off season. Me and you were talking about some things, off air and yesterday, and some things you would like to see happen. Are you confident about your Bills this year?
Hold on, I'm moving around. I'm confident about the Bills. I told you one thing. We were talking yesterday, and I say, I constantly see people say the Bills are overrated, and I get where they're coming from, because the Bills haven't produced in the playoffs. But if you're a top 5 team and you won your division the last 3-4 seasons, you've been at the top, you have one of the top rated quarterbacks. I'll be a little bit biased, but I don't consider that as overrated. Now, if you're scheduled to win you know, your division and you're not doing it, you're failing. I mean, they've been consistently one of the top 5, 6 teams in the league the last 3 seasons. Um, they've had some growing pains. They lost a couple of people. I can't really Matt Barkley looked good with the coach yesterday or against the coach yesterday, but they got a log jam at receiver. And besides Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, it's like after that, it's like, okay. I mean, you know what you need at these positions. You need a speedster. You need that short yardage receiver. And you see a couple of names on there. I saw Andy Isabella make a catch yesterday, and that name intrigues me. And I'm trying to see if that's going to be. We can't see. I don't know who's going to be playing. I don't want to say it like this, but the preseason is just so worthless now. Even the NFL has shown you that the preseason is worthless. So this isn't the preseason of yesteryear I grew up with, where you would see some of your first stringers, game 1, game 2, and then that third and fourth game is where you kind of like let the position battles kind of play out. And I guess it depends on what team you are. I don't know if we're going to see Josh Allen at all this preseason, because I think it is important because he's going to have new faces to throw to, and Dalton Kincaid. I said this when he was drafted. He's going in as the number 1 tight end. That's it. Let's be real. The kid already looks fantastic. He already looks like he has that playmaking ability, and that's what they're missing. That's what they didn't get from Gabe Davis last year. And Gabe Davis is saying he's hurt. I'll give him that pass, because the season before he looked like he was going to take over at wide receiver. If he's hurt, then I understand. He's playing through injuries, cool. You got the linebacker, who left? Terrell Edmonds.
Yeah.
Terrell Edmonds left, so you got that linebacker position try to be solidified. We know Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer starting. We know that. That's fact. There is no position battle back there. As good as the Damar Hamlin story is, he's not starting. That's the end of that. Once if those guys are healthy and 100%, which I think they are, they're starting. The interesting thing that kind of frustrated me last year with the Bills was Kaiir Elam. Khalil Kali? I can't remember. I think the Elam that's at cornerback. You got to forgive me. I run names together, but it kind of frustrated me last year that Leslie Frazier didn't play him more than what he did, because when he was on the field, he seemed like he was making big plays. And we're talking about a cornerback unit that was decimated last year, and he barely played. So it was kind of frustrating for him not to play. And when he played, he made some plays. He looked good. He looked fast. He's a speedster. I thought one of the reasons why you were drafting him is because what you have to deal with in Miami twice a year. So with Leslie Frazier gone and Sean McDermott kind of taking over the defense, I would like to see if this defense improves, because they have it on paper. But then when you're playing, I don't care about anybody else. When you're playing Burrow, when you're playing Mahomes, can you slow these guys down? Can you get to these quarterbacks, which has been the Buffalo Bills' Achilles heel the last 2 or 3 seasons? That's kept them out of moving on to the Super Bowl when they made the AFC Championship, or moving on from the divisional round in the 13-second game. So I didn't really get anything from this preseason game. I'm gonna go, back and look at the highlights and stuff again. Nothing really stood out. I saw Andy Isabella make that catch, and I said, I wonder if he's going to replace Cole Beasley. So Cole Beasley went to the Giants. You need that underneath receiver that's going to get those nasty, over the middle, gritty yards, and that's not Stephon Diggs. He can do it sometimes, but on a consistent basis. And then it's just like you look at the receivers, it's like, okay, like what I don't see nobody that stands out. The kid they got from the Saints, he's supposed to be the speedster. So it's just like kind of like I don't want to say he's penciled in, but you need somebody that's going to take the top off the defense. You have to have that guy. If you don't have that guy, it's, you talking about NFL defenses planning and know that nobody can get behind your safeties. So that's all I got as of now. I got to hopefully we see some more of the starters. Get an update on Von Miller if he's going to be ready for the season. Because it's like you don't want to rush him back, but you know this unit, they benefit from him being on the field, and not just him playing and getting to the quarterback, but those other guys learn. Russo took big strides last year because of Von Miller. And even when Von Miller was on the sideline, you could see that his knowledge that was being passed on to that defensive line was crucial. So I'm excited to see a healthy Von Miller and Gregory Russo on the opposite side. The only other thing that I have a concern about on that defensive line is Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver kind of disappeared the last season. He shows up, but he doesn't show up enough to be that guy. It's like when something's going on, Aaron Donald's going to be a part of the play, and I don't feel like that with Ed Oliver yet. It's like he's still got to maybe tweak something. He has it. It seems like he has the physical, but having the physical and executing the game is two different things. So, but on the preseason game number 2, we'll see if the logjam at receiver kind of maybe straighten itself out a little bit. I mean, it's not going to straighten itself out with Matt Barkley. You need Josh Allen in there at least a quarter to kind of throw to these guys to see who he's in rhythm with, who he likes. That's all that matters. Matt Barkley can throw to somebody 15 times. It doesn't matter if Josh Allen doesn't like throwing to him. So,
of course, something. One thing that I've noticed since they went away with the 4th preseason game, we don't get to see, not let alone the starters, we don't even get to see the undrafted players that's trying to make this team. We don't get to see any. That's what you saw the first 2 games. You saw guys that were either on the bubble or you just weren't really sure about.
Well, game 4 was usually their game.
Yeah.
The 4th game of the preseason was usually those guys that trying to make the team, your undrafted guys, they would get damn near the whole game. And that's why I said the NFL showed you how important preseason is. You're going to get sloppy football for the first 3 weeks of the season. You're going to know like the Kansas Cities of the world, the Buffalo, the Cincinnatis, the Chargers, the teams that have good quarterbacks. You're going to see they're going to move. They're going to move. They're going to do their thing, and it's going to get sharper as it goes along. But the first 3 weeks, it's going to preseason 2.0.
And that's what everybody says, too. Everybody says that. Coming back home to D.C., Washington wins 17-15 in there. Before we say that, but Buffalo won 23-19 over the Colts yesterday. Friday night, Washington won 17-15 over the Browns. Like I said at the top of the show, the Washington faithful are already starting to say, "Oh, fit us for the rings." Stop it. 1 preseason game. Stop it. Stop the madness. Yes, we got a new owner. I understand everybody's happy and you're high. Stop it. We sound like Cowboy fans. Don't do that. Midnight Rider.
So before we go to Washington, I was curious because I watched a little bit of the Bills game, and I was watching it mainly because I wanted to see what Anthony Richardson looked like, the quarterback for the Colts, and it's gonna be a little work for him. He didn't look natural throwing the ball at all. It looked a little forced. Maybe that was Buffalo putting some pressure on him. But I don't know how he didn't look that sharp. I don't think any of the rookie quarterbacks looked that sharp. coming out of the gates. Coming back to Washington, I was encouraged. I'm gonna say it that way. I'm not fitting us for rings, but I think this offense has a chance if they do the things they did Saturday night, get the ball out quick, throw some wrinkles in there. Of course, this isn't going to be the offense we see completely, but this is the framework of it. And then I think if we stick to this framework, Howell and company can be pretty impressive. It looks like that we can actually win some ball games because of the offense, not in spite of the offense, as we've done the last couple of years. So I'm very encouraged, highly encouraged from what I saw. And just on the defensive side, I mean, it just looks like they can run safeties out there and defensive linemen. It looks like they just have a glutton of both of that position. And it looks like we're definitely undervaluing the linebacker position as a ball club. And then to touch on you guys talking about the preseason schedule, I think it's gotten to the point where teams are so scared to lose somebody that they play them as little as possible. And you guys are absolutely correct. The first 3 weeks of the season is like really the preseason because guys are just starting to get hits, just starting to play because they didn't play at all or they played a quarter's worth of football in the preseason. Go ahead, guys.
And Damon Young says nobody in DC really saying that. Who are real fans that knows football? It's people that saying it. I seen it all up and down Facebook. That people that have claimed to be Washington Redskins, Commanders, football team fans for years. Oh, fit us for the rings. Stop. And it happens every year. They win. Washington go 3-0 in the preseason, and it's happened every year that I can remember. Are we going to the Super Bowl? Why? Why are we? I remember they said that in '97. They said it in '96. We didn't make the playoffs neither one of those years. Every year that I can remember, mostly through high school. Are we going to the Super Bowl? You see how good we looked in that game? It happens every year. But this is what they do. He said, now remember, they didn't play anyone on defense in regards to Cleveland. No, they didn't. We know that. You know that.
And that's what I was going to say when Midnight Rider saying Anthony Richardson wasn't looking too hot. It's like against guys trying to make the team. Like, whoa, baby. Like, yeah, you're not these. I don't know.
And Ross says those people don't know football. No, they don't. They don't. Because I've heard so many Cowboy fans talk about the Cowboys in September and October, and I said, well, you got to wait till November and December before you start saying, oh, we going to the chip. I said, Cowboys are 13-3 and got eliminated their first playoff game. You got to know what it is.
I'm gonna say something as a Commander supporter. And, just looking at the team, everything that went on with this team the last season, last couple seasons, the tenure of Dan Snyder, you just want this team to come out and they have a ceiling. And this is not me just being biased because we do a show in DC. I think if this team is running on all cylinders, on 93 octane, they can sneak into a wild card. Not outright win, they can sneak into a wild card. I think that the defense alone is good enough to beat any team in NFC East. That's not the issue. The issue is on the other side of the ball. You don't know what's coming in with Sam Howell. He has great weapons. I don't want to say the offensive line is an issue because it's like you're not getting everybody. You're not getting all the starters and stuff. If you have concerns about the offensive line, you have to have the whole unit together to mesh, gel, play. It might be some weak spots, but sneaking into a wild card. I mean, if Philly's running on all cylinders, we've seen what Philly can do. The Giants are going into a second season of what they built off last year, and they were running on all cylinders until they played Philly both times. and they got mollywopped. What team? Oh, the Cowboys. The Cowboys are always I mean, you can hate the Cowboys, but what they have on defense, number 11. If number 11's cooking, it's a long day. I say that I just said it with Buffalo. If you cannot get to the quarterback, it's gonna be a long day. Period. It don't matter who you playing. You can be playing a struggling quarterback. You can't get to him and you're giving him time. It's an easy day. But sneaking into a wild card, you just want to see progress. You want to see the on the field penalties go away. You want to see the undisciplined stuff go away. You want to see somebody be able to, in the first quarter, not game 7, not game 11, make changes, make adjustments. That's what you want to see. You want to be able to have a game plan and not just we practice these plays and that's what we're going to go out and do. If it don't work, then we'll try it again next week. And I think that's what we talked about it last Sunday, which what pisses me off, or Thursday, whenever we talk about the Eric Bieniemy thing. I think that's what pisses me off so much about that is it's like let this man cook. Let this man cook. Let him do what he's going to do. Let him try to get every piece of sweat and blood out of this offense he can. Like, I don't understand the size me up for the ring stuff.
Yeah, I never have. And
I don't get it.
Ross says young QBs have to adjust to the speed of the game. Practice even against another team isn't game action. I think the young QBs will improve as time goes by, which is true. I agree with that.
Definitely.
He also says Sam Howell is essentially a rookie, first time having first team reps in practice. The offense was what I expected. The O-line is a concern, but I didn't like the way the defense is still giving up runs between the tackles, especially.
They've been doing that for years.
Yeah, but we supposed to have
with 94 and 93. They have been giving up. They've been getting gashed in the middle. I've been saying it for years. This is not nothing new. And Ross saw it, but I don't know if it's the defensive style. I don't know what it is, but they've been getting gashed on. Sometimes, of course, some games they tighten up and they can get in there, but for whatever reason, whatever they running is getting. And Buffalo's the same way sometimes. I don't want to sound biased. Buffalo's the same way sometimes. Get gashed, and then you see teams that don't get gashed. I don't know what it is. I can't.
You know what? I think that's just a Washington thing because I remember
it's not a Washington thing. It's teams around this league they get gashed.
I'm gonna tell you something.
They get torn up. It's like they put the Flex Seal on it and it starts leaking a little bit and then it busts and then it's gallons and there's a whole ocean coming out and they just spraying Flex Seal and it's blocking them a little bit because the Flex Seal is coming back on them in the wind and now the water's not touching them, it's just going around them. That's what you get. It ain't just a Washington thing. I see it around the league. Teams be getting ate up on the ground. I don't know if it's conditioning with the defensive line. I don't know if it's low football IQ with guys just not hitting the right gaps and stuff. I don't know what it is, but there's certain teams you be like, it frustrates me with Buffalo. It don't matter who you got in the backfield. If you just run on this team enough, with John man, the Bimba don't break. They gonna break eventually. It's coming, baby.
That right there. That's my type of defense. Bimba don't break. You'll get inside the 20, but you ain't scoring. You're not even getting a field goal. But I'm sure Midnight Rider and Ross, y'all remember this. Y'all remember Adrian Morrell when he was with the Cardinals, and the Cardinals were still in the NFC East. Remember, Adrian Morrell used to eat us up.
But that was just the Cardinals thing because the Cardinals had like Stump Mitchell, and Stump Mitchell would get loose on us. OJ Anderson would get his.
Well, OJ Anderson should be a Hall of Fame running back, but that's another conversation.
Larry Centers would get his against us. I mean, I could have a Cardinals roll call of backs that just had games against us. It's weird, man. And if the Cardinals weren't in the NFC East in the 80s, I think they would have been a playoff team or a playoff contender every year because they just got beat up on. They just were the victims of being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Here's a name for you that used to gash the hell out of the Redskins, and this is in the 90s. Ant Lee. I remember Ant Lee playing with
San Francisco,
the Rams. Now he's at the Rams at the time, and we were dominating the Rams, and all of a sudden they start giving him the ball 7 yards, 8 yards, 11 yards. It's like no matter what they did, they were trying to arm tackle this kid, and you couldn't arm tackle him. He was too shifty. But it seems like that's always the MO of Washington defenses for quite some time. And it just, I know B said it's, it's all across the league, but it always feels like it happens to us. And it happens at the most inopportune time.
I wish we had like, and maybe I'm gonna look this up. But Washington has to be top 10. And those up the middle, just like deflating ass runs. Like when you think that the defense think they got it, it's slowing the team down, and then bam, bam, bam. Like they have to be. I've said it on the show before. Midnight Rider got here. I've been saying this for the last 3 or 4 seasons. Like, hey, did anybody else notice this team getting up some big runs up the middle?
You know when they didn't?
When
Matt Ioannidis was in the middle. That's when they didn't give up big runs because Ioannidis sat there and waited for it, and he always made the stop because Ioannidis is that guy.
You know what I'm gonna do? I as the boss, BJ, I'm gonna find us a chatbot, an AI chatbot, so we can say AI chatbot. Look up this stat, and it's gonna put it in. I'm gonna find a way to do this because we need that assistance. We need this assistance.
Replace you with AI now?
No. I'm not replacing you. We need a accurate on the spot information. Like AI, give me the worst teams in the last 3 seasons NFL on yards per carry. Bam, give me that. Matter of fact, let me look that up. I'm gonna do the AI chatbot right now. Goodbye. I'll be right back. You guys talk.
Ross says, "What scares me is that." Was Felton, not Chubb. If Chubb was in the game, the Browns scored the goal line. And the defense held up, but this is Chubb we talking about. Like, yeesh. And everybody was talking about Emmanuel Forbes not being physical enough. And he made a physical play on the goal line. I mean, I would love to see the kid get in the gym and get them legs up, Get the muscle up on them legs, man. He looked like Keon Clark. That's the kind of legs he got. He got Keon Clark legs.
We got to remember, Darrell Green weighed 176, 180.
But look how big his legs were.
Right, but that's the track part of it for Darrell. But again, these guys play at this weight. It's a lot of skinny DBs out here. I think he just got caught up in it because that's the only thing they really could knock on him. And that was the only thing that they could put in between him and the other DBs in this class. So we'll see as it goes along. Just like with him getting more time and playing more, because I think next week we should be playing at least hopefully they play another quarter, because I don't know how much more they're gonna do because you're playing the Ravens all week. So that might be the deterrent from them playing extended periods during the actual game on Monday.
True indeed. Ross says, how many times over the years has the opponents on third down and 6 or more ran a draw something and similar and got 10 or more yards? Jeez. I ain't got enough fingers to count that. Because
that's partially how they rush too. If you look on the other night, there were plenty of times where it seemed like the tackles were lined up over top of that guard's outside shoulder, just inviting you to run something in the middle of the field, or inviting the quarterbacks to actually just step through the pocket and run out. And I think that's how Deshaun Watson got a couple of those scrambles. Was the power was moving past him, and I saw Chase get his hands on him one time. And then once he got out of that, it was free reign. Nobody was close to him.
See, I just we can talk technique all day long, and if you notice, most of the time our DNs and our edge rushes, they don't have tricks in the bag. Every great pass rusher has tricks in the bag. Reggie White had the hump move, get you going one way, hump move, and he was tossing Larry Allen, who's the strongest man in the NFL. He was tossing him like a rag doll. The play where he used Chris Carter, he threw Chris Carter at Warren Moon. Bruce Smith had the spin move. Dwight Freeney had the spin move. Lawrence Taylor had speed, and he was the one that came around the corner and he started the whole thing of swatting the ball. Every great pass rusher, even every good pass rusher, has tricks in the bag. It seems like when pass rushers, oh yeah, Ross, I forgot all about that. The jumpy gathers forklift. He would pick you up, take you to the quarterback, set you down and inside. Why is it that we don't have that in Washington sometimes? Like, I want to see Montez Sweat use more than just his speed to get to the quarterback. I want to see Chase Young use more than his speed to get to the quarterback. I want to see more than speed. I want to see spin moves. I want to see, stunts and juke moves. I want to see something more than just a bull rush. And it seems like when they get here, everybody forgets. It's like it's a cloud over their head. They forget that you're supposed to have a bag of tricks. Where's your bag at?
I felt like Chase the other night, he showed a couple of things that he didn't do before. The one he got to the quarterback and lost him, I think that was an inside move, and then he made another move later on. So I think they starting to develop it. They're starting to use it. And I think it helped them taking that time to go up to Ohio State and get with Larry. What's his name? Is it Larry Johnson? I think that's his name. Yeah, the D-line coach there. So I think he learned some bags, learned some tricks, or got comfortable with a couple of things. So I'm not worried about that. I mean, that's going to come with some time, I think.
Boss BJ, you got anything on that whole stat?
I do. Washington 11th overall in rushing defense. Buffalo 5. Which is just confusing as hell because it just seems like both teams. It's like when it's needed, you see the running back going up the middle of the field. Just like Ross said, for the draw or whatever it is, it's like they need 13 yards, they get 17. It's like when you need that stop. Like I said, I don't know what it is. It's not just Washington and Buffalo. And I know, I know, guys make plays and stuff, but it just seems like you just look and it's like, man. But I don't know.
Ross says Chase did have a couple of different things to his game. I'm glad about that. Damon says they need to work with some retired vets at that position.
Wasn't Warren Sapp there?
Yeah, Warren Sapp he's been there all summer, on and off. He's been a special consultant. Maybe that's why you're seeing more. Hall of Fame defensive tackle. And for everything that Sapp was, he was athletic. Athletic as I don't know what. And it's a reason why he's in the Hall of Fame, He was a model of consistency. Preseason standout, gentlemen. What stood out so far this first week of the preseason?
I think, and we said this in the pre-show, Deuce Vaughn. I think he's actually going to be a baller. Even though he looks like a little kid out there with a Make-A-Wish Foundation or something like that, in terms of just his size on the field. But I think he's going to actually be able to make some plays and make an impact. It was good seeing the kid Hamlin for Buffalo. I think that just seeing him on the field was good enough for me. And then trying to think of anybody else. I think that was it so far for me.
The only thing I have right now, and it's going to be good to see because the team they haven't won in a while. If the Bears on paper, if if that little offensive little spurt we saw with Hurts, DJ Moore, if that's what the Bears are going to be, and I know the starters ain't out there fully, but between them and the Lions, that should be a great battle all year because the Lions are coming up. Aaron Rodgers is gone. I don't expect the Packers to do too much anything, but the Bears on paper look very scary. And if Jalen Hurts can, not Jalen Hurts, what's the boy
Justin
name in
Fields.
Chicago? Justin Fields, thank you. If he can take the next step forward with the weapons they've gotten and what they got on defense, it's going to be nasty and scary to watch. I really, like, if I'm marking another preseason game on my calendar, it's going to be the Bears. I want to see if Fields and company can push this thing. It's going to be fun. I love seeing teams rebuild and deliver a winner. I think this might be the Bears' year to make that step.
So I saw online yesterday, and this is the funniest thing. I'm gonna let y'all go. I mean, let it go after this. But Fields had, I think, 2 or 3 touchdown passes. And somebody decided to take the time because yes, they were 3 screens or whatever. Or 3, I think it's 3 passing plays. Maybe that's what it was. But one was the screen to DJ Moore, one was the screen to Herbert, and they both were like maybe air travel yards was probably like 3 yards. And then of course they ran for another 50 or 60 yards. I saw people complaining about how that shouldn't be a passing touchdown. I saw people complaining that, yeah, of course you're gonna look good if you're only throwing the ball 3-4 yards. It's amazing how when people get a narrative, they will go to the end of the world to prove that narrative true. Just let this kid play. This kid's gonna be okay. I mean, last year he played with the 3 of us at wide receiver. He ain't had no choice but not to struggle. So,
but time out. If he had me at wide receiver, the boy wouldn't struggle.
Oh boy. Okay, KG. I'm not saying in your prime. I'm saying right now, KG.
I can still lead the league in yak yards.
Okay, KG. Okay.
And what does yak mean for you? Throwing up on the field?
It's gotta be.
Damn. Damn. You can bet on anybody, but hey, don't bet on yourself. Fuck that. I know what I can do. Now I might need oxygen after the first 2 plays, but it's okay. I'll get myself back. Y'all not gonna keep coming at me like that. I'm world champion. You're not gonna talk to me like that. Damon says, I think we'll see the real surprise this week if teams give the first team some reps, quarter or 2. That's what you should be doing. I know. Acknowledge me. Ross says, I hope Justin Fields kills it. He caught so much shit last year. I totally agree with BJ. Come on, Damon. Look, anytime on this show, I know we could have played for the Bears last year. A couple years ago, we could have played for the Knicks. We was trying to get money from the Knicks too. We was gonna be in the starting 5 of the Knicks when they had all that money, But the Winnebago was in the shop the week of the trial, so we didn't make it. But we didn't been on kicking carousels. We didn't did it all here, man. We confident in what we can do. So just saying, just saying. Whew. Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that alone because y'all just look like y'all ain't with my shenanigans this afternoon. Naismith Hall of Fame was last night. Gene Best, Gary Blair, Pau Gasol, the great Becky Hammond, David Hickson, Gene Keady, Dirk Nowitzki, Tony Parker, Greg Popovich, Jim Valvano, Dwayne Wade, and the 1976 U.S. Women's Olympic team all went in last night. How you gentlemen feeling about this class? I think it was a strong class.
I think it was okay. I mean, I'm not I'm not taking away. Like I don't know. Right now with basketball, the Hall of Fame, I don't really get caught up in like who deserves it and who doesn't, because it seems like it's a wider scope of what they cover. So I don't know. I don't have that that same vigor for fussing about who's going to make it, who's not going to make it. Next year's class is going to be interesting because you got some guys like Vince Carter, Amari Stoudemire, Sean Marion, and it's one other person. Chauncey Billups. That's going to be an interesting couple of guys for this coming up. But this class itself, I really like what Becky Hammond said about Pop giving her an opportunity that nobody else did, and it wasn't a charity case. So I really like that.
Boss BJ?
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the class. You know, I kind of like the Midnight Ride. I'm not really invested too much in the NBA Hall of Fame, and because I know it, you know, it is what it is. But Pop going in, you know, Wade, you know, those guys going in, you know, I'm okay with that. You know.
Damon say, man, we passed our time. Yeah. It's hard to admit sometimes. Yeah. Tell you what I used to do though. Marion and Stoudemire aren't Hall of Fame guys in my opinion.
And that's why I didn't want to go down this rabbit hole. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go down this rabbit hole.
And what's crazy is when you were naming who's eligible next year, I was like Stoudemire. Okay, Marion, no. Vince Carter, in my opinion, Vince Carter's borderline.
Vince Carter's going to make it.
He's going to make it, but in my opinion, he's borderline.
Why you dogging Sean Marion, man? The man is the prototypical. He's the inventor of the stretch four. You know what I'm saying? He's the one that got the corner three started. Because, actually,
he had no follow through. He never extended his hand. He alligator armed it every time. That's all he did. That's how he shot.
Sean Marion changed the game of basketball, man.
The Hall of Fame talk. I don't care what sport it is. It's like an instant migraine. Like I need to go choose something right now to get this to calm down, because it's like don't get me wrong. It's people that get in there. You know, it's people that scrapped and you know earned their way in there. And then there's people that you know had head over heel skills. It's you know, of course it's different, but then it's just certain players when their name come up, it's like I just want to bite my wall, bite a chunk out of my wall, and just sit down and chew it and just.
Damon says, Tony Parker game was nice, but Tony character was dirty. He went at other players' wives and girlfriends, straight cruddy. But his game was tight. Yeah, that's true. How the hell are you married to Eva Longoria and you go mess with Brent Berry's wife? Like, bro, what?
That's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show.
That's a whole different genre of conversation. That's like relationship talk. I don't know if we cover that.
That the Joe got a role in the beginning of the show. This show is rated for X-rated content. He can't talk. He can't talk about that. We can't talk about that either.
Damon says, "What with Vince being borderline? The reason why I say Vince is borderline. Let's say let's just call a spade a spade. For 20 years, 21 years, Vince did nothing but run and jump. He didn't win anything. He won a dunk contest. Okay. Now, if you're going to put Vince Carter in, Sean Kemp should be in as well.
I agree with that. Sean Kemp should be in. But the thing with Vince is, you know, we always talk about changing the game. We always talk about changing the narrative. Vince, what is the dunk contest? Like he moved Michael out of the dunk contest. Vince, when that year that he won, was enormous. It was beyond, it was capturing the hearts of the country. And I think, unfortunately for these guys, winning the dunk contest comes with expectations that that's supposed to go to the court. And on the court, Vince was an average player with ungodly physical talent, if that makes sense.
I think y'all
Like you
shortchanged
weren't.
him, Vince.
You said, nah, I don't want to shortchange him. But there's no team during Vince's time that you would put Vince on and be like, they're a contender. With Vince Carter now, they're a contender. He just wasn't that dynamic of a player. I felt for his physical ability, he should have been way more dominant. Like, we have AI averaging 30 points.
He was averaging like 25.
Then he should have been averaging more. I'm sorry, man.
Tough grader.
Answer me this.
The only reason Vince doesn't have a ring is because they ran into Shaq and Kobe.
And and what were we talking about yesterday, KG, with the Olympics? This goes on your legacy. It doesn't matter who you ran into. Could you beat these people? Ask Karl Malone, ask Clyde Drexler, ask Magic, ask Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, ask all those guys that ran into MJ. Ask the Pistons when they were running into Boston Celtics in the East. Ain't that what you say, KG?
Yeah.
Ask all the teams that ran into the Lakers in the 80s. Could you beat them? You couldn't. There's no squad during Vince's tenure that you could put him on and be like you could swap Kobe out with the Kobe and Shaq, or you could swap Kobe out for maybe Tracy, and they might still win. Maybe Tracy McGrady around the first. You're not Vince Carter not sitting on that team and winning with Shaq. It's not happening.
But that's more of a stylistic thing than anything else.
When he went to the Nets, let's just talk about the Nets. When he went to the Nets, what did the Nets do?
They went to the finals.
And what happened?
They got Shaq dunked on the whole entire team.
What was did they win a game?
I think it was 4-1. No, they lost to the Nets. They lost to the Spurs, and they lost to the Lakers. I think the Spurs swept them.
Was Vince Carter on both of those teams or just one?
Let me find out.
This is what I'm saying. This is who was supposed to on that Lakers team and the Spurs team. Who's supposed to check Vince Carter? Now, no, don't get me wrong. I didn't say he was borderline. I said he's Hall of Fame. He's on the Hall of Fame.
I got you.
Yeah, but I think Vince Carter's career for me is it's not, besides the dunk contest, like KG said, we said on the show before, like you ran and jumped for 20 years. Like there's no team he put over the top. Tracy McGrady put teams over the top. Tracy McGrady put teams over the top.
Hold on, let me.
No, the only reason I say that is because we're like there are times when players, I get it, he's our version of a human highlight film. He's always on Sports Center, but we sometimes fail to look at some of the moments these guys have, like the 50 points against the 76ers in the playoffs when he and Iverson are going back to back.
Yeah,
there's I think for him his problem was he played so long that's so far from our memory that we don't remember some of these things. That might be the case, but Vince was a solid ball player. He was just in the era where you had AI, you had Kobe, and those guys just took him off. Hear me out. I know I'm making your point, but here's what I'm saying is those guys got top billing over him. So you don't get a chance to appreciate what he did in his career sometimes because he kind of falls on the back burner.
And if you fall on the back burner at any time in your career, you're not a Hall of Famer. That is what I've been trying to say. If you're in your era, if you're not even a top guy in your era, if you don't make that 2000s all-decade team, how the hell are you a Hall of Famer?
8-time All-Star from 2000 to 2007. All NBA second team in 2001, All NBA third team in 2000. He won Rookie of the Year, NBA All Rookie First Team in 99, of course, Slam Dunk Champion in 2000. He won a Sportsmanship Award in 2020 and Teammate of the Year in 2016. He never made a All NBA's first team, All Defensive Team. You know, it's like certain athletes. And his resume is pretty short. But then you got to think, after he left New Jersey, which is the last contender he played for, he went to Orlando, Phoenix, Dallas. And that was Dallas after they won the championship. You know how hard they fell off after that.
Yep.
Memphis, Sacramento. Sacramento ain't been good since the early 2000s. And then he finished up with the Hawks. He pretty much just bounced around. And I heard you call him our version of the human highlight film. No, Dominique was actually the guy. He was the guy in Atlanta. Where has Vince been the guy outside of Toronto?
He was the guy in Toronto. That's when he was the guy.
Outside of Toronto, when has he ever been the guy?
He was the guy in New Jersey.
No, he wasn't either.
Who was scoring from? What was carrying that team in points? What?
Kid.
He wasn't scoring buckets. Somebody got to score.
Look, that was Kid's team.
That was
Jason Kidd's
team. The guys out there, they made the finals without him.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like he added to it, but I mean, he just I don't know. And the other thing for me is like he wasn't even ring chasing the last couple of years. He was just.
He should have been. I'm sure some contender would have picked him up.
Yeah, he just
gonna get this ring.
You chose the Hawks. You chose Memphis. You chose all these teams. Like you weren't even trying to be on the bench and like, hey, I'm gonna help Torres get a ring. Like he still had the physical ability, but I got to go chew an Aspen or something.
Ross says Vince Carter more than Marion and Stoudemire, and Eric Willis says Damon Young off the field doesn't count. Ben gets a couple chuckles there for his relationship commentary. Damon Young says true about Kemp, but that is what the NBA is, run and jump. Vince could jump out the gym. Yeah, Kemp could too. I think Vince Carter is the best dunk contest dunker, but in game, I think Sean Kemp has put more dudes on posters than anybody.
This
is tough.
He jumped over a man.
That was in the Olympics. Okay, the dunk of death. That's one dunk. That's one dunk that everybody goes to.
The dunk on Alonzo?
The
dunk, he comes down the lane, bodies up Lonzo, and dunks it on him. That doesn't count. Man, you know what? I'm sending you some Vince Carter dunk highlights.
Let me
downright disrespectful.
In-game dunks. Grant Hill dunking on Alonzo Mourning was better than Vince Carter.
Hold on, this what you just say? You're gonna send me Vince Carter dunk highlights. I need you to send me Vince Carter highlights of him taking a team and muscling through a 7-game series. I need Kobe shots. I need MJ shots. I need the Barkley top of the key to send the I need that. If you can't find those, you'll never find them. Then no exist. They don't. You can show me AI stepping over Lou and grinding out one win against the Lakers. Vince Carter doesn't have that on his entire body. He doesn't have a game where it was a crucial game and he took over and he won the game. He doesn't have that. He has the Bradley Beal mentality. Hey, y'all check them. I'm gonna sit back here and chill. Chill.
This is sad.
Hey, man. This is a topic that can be discussed. We can sit here for 2 hours and talk about this. It's not. Don't get me wrong.
No, we good, man. We good.
Don't get me wrong.
I see where you guys are coming from.
It's not hate against Vince Carter. Vince Carter is a generational dunker. But what else did he bring to the table?
I'm just gonna let you guys go. I'm about to go chew a wall with BJ or something.
Oh man, Damon Young says I know, but still the NFL does consider off the field stuff first ballot. That is true. You know, NFL threatened to remove OJ Simpson from the Hall of Fame. So, but as far as this class goes, I think this class is very, very solid. I was surprised that Jim Valvano was just getting in 2023. You know, he had that miracle run in 40 years ago with NC State, and for those of us from the area, you know, he took most of our players from the area and won that championship. A lot of those players are from here. Thurl Bailey went to Bladensburg. I want to say it was 2 players from DeMatha. A lot of the main players were from the area. So that was crazy. And this is what I always say about good players getting out of the area. Another story for another time. I'm not gonna get into it. I love Dwayne Wade's speech. Of course, I love Pau Gasol's speech. But this is just a solid class. Greg Popovich. It's not anything else that I could say about him that his resume doesn't say already. You know, the day that he walks away from the game and he retires, it's going to be sad. And it's just like when Phil walked away, just like when Red walked away. It's going to be sad because now you mentioned Popovich in the same breath with Jackson and Arbach, and that is absolutely great. That's a rare air to be in. I will say that. So, and Damon, yes, DeMatha. Yeah, they got a lot of players from DeMatha. You on mute? What you say there? What you say there, Chuck?
Don't feed into that.
What you say there, Chuck?
Don't feed into that. That's all I'm saying.
All right, we're gonna switch gears real quick before we wrap it up. 50 years of hip hop, we celebrating, man. 2 turntables in the mic. I mean, what song made you fall in love with hip hop?
Wow. I don't know if it made me fall in love, but I think the first one I remember was The Show. That and Children's Story kind of were the first 2. I wasn't a big hip hop person, but yeah, I think those kind of started, and then you get the NWAs and all that coming along after that. So yeah, definitely.
I'm not answering that question. I'm
Okay.
gonna just talk a little bit about, since we're talking about hip hop, just a little bit, the Melly Mel and Eminem thing that's going on, right? I just want to touch on it a little bit because when you get your sports legs underneath you, you don't know your past, you don't know your history, and you got to learn about it, right? And the same thing with hip hop. You can't call yourself a hip hop connoisseur, a hip hop fan, a hip hop lover, and you don't know where it started from, and you don't know how these guys rate cadence and rhythm and how they rap back in the day. You can't call yourself a hip hop lover and not love that and embrace that and know that's the foundation. That's the foundation of it. And Eminem took a shot at Melly Mel. He came back, and I've seen a lot of so-called hip hop guys clowning Melly Mel for his style of rap. And here's the thing with that. Just because you lick boots at work and you change up when certain people come around, everybody doesn't do that. Eminem's style hasn't changed since he came out. He still raps the same. Jay-Z does. The only thing that's changed is what they rap about now. Their styles are still the same. Yeah, they grew up a little bit. 50 come on the stage. He's still rapping. He still sounds the same. Dre, Cube, Ice-T, you name it. So why would a guy from the original, why would he change to sound like now? Why? Just because you come home and beat your wife and then go to work and get on your knees and beg the boss for mercy? I don't get it. Because this guy right here As soon as you start disrespecting 60s basketball, anything, he's on your ass. You on mute.
You pointed the wrong way. You pointed towards me. I think you should have been pointing to KG.
Am I pointing? Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
On my screen, I'm pointing at the Midnight Rider though.
Oh, okay. My screen is the other way around.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You got to respect the past. You got to respect what came before. Everybody isn't high out of their mind rapping. You know, some people rap a certain way. Some people talk a certain way. Some people walk a certain way. That it's not supposed to. It's you don't change. So I just say, just respect Melly Mel's bars. That's what he is. He's not going to change because he's battling Eminem. He's not going to change because we're in 2023. That's all I got to say. That's it. I just, and that goes across the board. You can't enjoy something at its finest until you go back to its roots and listen to the original, the origin of the music, the origin of the poetry, the origin of the 60s, with how the 60s Celtics was built, and then they were built before the 60s. They got started building in the 50s, and then you start learning about that. You start learning about the origins of basketball, where it started, and it makes you appreciate the game a whole much. And with music, like I'm not a hip hop expert, but you go listen to the older stuff. Of course, it sounds different than your newer stuff when I start listening in late 80s and 90s. But I'm not going to go to be like, oh man, that's garbage. No, that's what it was. It evolved. It mutated, and you got stuff here now that's, I'm 42, that I consider garbage, like not even listenable. And I got to go back and be like, where's my 90s music station? I don't want to listen to this stuff.
This section of the show was brought to you by the word allegedly, because there were some comments in that section that would needed to be followed by allegedly.
Oh shit!
Oh man.
Before I go, Ross says I'm old. In junior high, my first introduction to hip hop was Sugar Hill Gang and Parliament. Of course, as time went on, the Godfather, Go-Go, Chuck Brown, his unique style, one of the coolest dudes I ever talked to. Hey, I agree with that. And here's something that's crazy. We talked about on the WrestleManiacs. This is maybe a couple months ago. We talked about the song Ashley's Roach Clip. If you listen to the drum break on Ashley's Roach Clip, that has been sampled. I think they said over 300 times in hip hop, and just any genre of music, it's been sampled over 300 times. So if you don't know about Ashley's Roach Clip, it's under the Soul Searchers. It's actually on matter of fact, it's on GTA 5 on the Lowdown with Mama G. So if you ever play GTA and you listen to Ashley's Roach Clip, you've heard it before. And the percussionist on that is a guy that I know. And I was like, I'm listening to somebody that I know personally play this great break right here. But it goes so deep. And for me, I fell in love with hip hop. Of course, I grew up listening to Run DMC. My sister was a big Run DMC fan. And she even had the shell toes. My mom's wouldn't let her rock them with no shoestrings, though. But for me, what did it for me was Slick Rick, Treated Like a Prostitute. Don't know why, but that song stuck out in my head. I was in the second grade when I think about second grade when that came out, and I could rap that forward backwards, just like a children's story. Rap it forward backwards, and nobody could tell me anything. And I wrote, it was what was it? It was an anti-drug PSA that we had to do for class. And the first song I ever freestyled to, I freestyled it in class, was off the beat of Children's Story. And I was like, maybe I got a career in something, but I never could duplicate that. So it took me another 25 years to write something else. So I time in between hits, 25 years. But hip hop at 50, we've seen some. Well, we have us. We've seen some great music. We've heard some great music. I tell everybody, I said, the coolest era that I ever lived through was New Jack Swing. I don't think anything could touch New Jack Swing because it was all about dressing the part, dancing, and having a good time. You know, either you had your Sergio sweatsuit with your white t-shirt and your herringbone chain and your white Adidas doors, or you had the double-breasted suit with the loafers and the tassel, no shirt on, you oil your chest up with your slick back S-curl, and you go in that joint, you and your crew just looking around, oh, y'all want beef? Y'all get in the floor and start dancing, man. Then you had your whole crew out there. New Jack Swing. Bring it back, baby. Times were simpler then. Why you looking at me like that? You had an S-curl, didn't you?
Nah, bruh.
You ain't never have an S-curl?
Nah.
Oh, man. You had an S-curl with a ponytail in the back?
Nah, bruh.
Oh, you was a high top fade, man?
Nope. None of that.
Really?
The most I did was the temper taper. That was it.
Oh, come on. B, you had a high top fade?
No.
Really?
This right here. I grew up, I had one time, but I hated it. So
Damn, I'm the only. Bro, I had a high top fade in like, that was about 88, 89. Had a high top fade with the rat tail in the back. High and tight, dog. I was trying to get my shit high. I was trying to get it about as high as kids. And I got close. I think it was about 3 inches. And my sister would comb it out for me. She would pick it out and make sure it was right. I go to the barber shop. They line me up, skinned it on the side, got my ponytail in the back. I had it. And then my mother and my godmother got tired of it. I'm like, how do y'all get tired of my hair? I'm happy with it. They kept threatening to cut my ponytail in my sleep.
Just make it nice and neat.
They wound up making me cut it off, man. I was so hurt. It took me, I think I let my hair grow out in 2002. I let it grow out for a little bit. And I had a nice little small afro that I kept up. Used to go to the barber shop 3 times a week. Everything was cool. My grandmother said those famous words to me. I like it. I like how you keep it neat and everything. What you planning on doing with it? I'm just going to rock an afro, mom. Oh, okay. You know your grandfather wouldn't wear that. Back to the barber shop I go to cut it off. And then it took me, it took a pandemic for all of this to happen. This is 3 years. That is 3 years. And I had, before I dreaded it up, I had an afro out here like this.
juices and berries.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Juices, berries, and gray hair, baby. But hip hop started that, man. Hip hop started that. Like the high top fades. I wouldn't go as far as the Jerry curl. I wasn't gonna do that. I wasn't gonna do the Jerry curl. But hip hop started all of that, man. It started the way we dress, things that we like, you know. It runs with everything. Then, you know, 50 years. It don't seem like it's 50 years because you think 50 years, I don't know if y'all mind do like my mind do. When you say 50 years, I'm thinking, well, that's like what, 1955 or something like that, 53 or something. But 50 years is 1973. So, happy birthday, hip hop.
I get a gentle reminder of 50 years because I keep looking at how close I'm getting to 50 and all these AARP letters I keep getting. And this gray hairs, bro. Woo.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, man. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You know what? I say we do this. For Ben's 50th birthday.
Oh, jeez.
we have a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. Games only going to 6.
Man, with this bad show, I don't even think I can get the basketball over my head, man.
Damn. All right, me and you. Look, me and you and B can play. Just facilitate, man. Just dump it down. I see what I can do. Y'all
I'm taking a nap. He playing no basketball, man.
Oh shit! Hey, you know, it's a dude that did that. He had a backyard that was really, really big. He put a basketball court in, and he holds basketball tournaments in his backyard. And I'm like, yo, that would be absolutely awesome, man.
I seen that. Yep. Yep. The people will come. Trust me.
Yes. Ross says mid-'80s, the old Capitol Center, they had the Go-Go versus hip hop. Chuck Brown, Run DMC. It was basically New York versus DC. Anyone remember that? Now that I don't. I think I've heard stories about it.
I wish we had Jim on. He might remember it.
Damn. So they had all the shit.
The only New York versus DC I remember is the Capitol Classic, Kurt Smith versus Kenny Anderson, the infamous 50.
The Capitol Classic. Jeez. I do miss that. So that means Ross is in the realm, in the age group. Ross, do you remember them landing the mothership for the last time at the Capitol Center? Were you there for that? Please tell me you were. I need stories, man. That's what I need. I need stories for that. Like, we something else we talked about in the WrestleManiacs. We talked about spending $15,000 on a concert ticket. And I told the People's Choice Don Rodriguez, I said, the only way I'm spending $50,000 on a concert ticket, Parliament got to be landing the mothership. If they not landing the mothership, you won't get $15K from me. Just being honest. But I guess I'm by myself on that. Y'all not paying $15K to see that?
I ain't paying $15K to see nothing.
Nothing. No. Let me rephrase that. If you tell me I could be at one of the Bulls finals in the 90s, I could transport myself back and watch the whole series, I might do that.
I can do that.
But I ain't paying $15K to hear nobody speak.
Speak? What?
Not at all.
Ross said he wasn't there. Damn it. I need stories, man. They said that was a party.
I'm sure it was.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it was.
That was a party.
Oh, from the parking lot all the way into the thing. I'm sure there's some choice things going on in that thing.
Yeah.
We talking about what year was that?
I think that was 80. That was like 83, 84, something like that.
You talking about 83, 84 Capitol Center security? Man.
That's one of the ones we're gonna have to call Jim. We're gonna have to get everybody on just to talk about the Capitol Center memories. Because I'm sure everybody got Capitol Center memories. Whether it's saying a game there or a concert or something. Nephew!
Say hi.
Say hi.
Okay.
What's up,
buddy?
He can't hear y'all.
Ross says 83, 85 security was smoked and also smoked up also. Hey, that's how you got in. Hey, look, got this white boy loaded up for you. What you got? Oh man, come on in here. Little top paper get you in there. Little something in that top paper. But we've come to the end of our show. We'd have been all around the mulberry bush and everywhere in between. So I guess we'll shut this down, come back on Tuesday, and go from there. I don't know what we're gonna talk about, but we'll find something, as you can see.
I mean, Tuesday night we can talk music and we can do the relationship show.
Oh my goodness.
and Ross said absolutely alcohol work too. Hey, the 80s was a different time, man. We worked on the barter system. I do something for you, you get me in. And thank you to Eric Wheeler Ross, Damon. Thank you all for joining us today for the Midnight Rider, the Boss BJ. I'm the big guy KG. Y'all know the motto, baby. We don't do no overtime. We are out of here.